Here's my review of Linkin Park's album, Living Things. It's definitely their best work since, I would say, the last album. Because the last album was one of my favorites from them, which I actually also have over here, but I have it on vinyl. Apparently Living Things they weren't pre-ordering it on vinyl, so I couldn't get it. Now, Living Things starts off with probably one of the best tracks Linkin Park has ever opened with, anyway. And probably one of the best songs. It's Lost in the Echo. It starts off with some like piano going, and then it has a beat, and the guitar. Then the guitar comes in, and it's beautiful. It's quite beautiful. But it's Mike rapping in it, and then it comes in with Chester singing like kind of like softly, kind of not really softly. Soft's not the right word. Yes, I guess soft would be fine. Softly and a catchy kind of chorus. And then it goes back to Mike rapping and back and forth. But then my favorite part of the song is near the end, when it has Chester screaming. He screams, "Go!" and then he sings, then he keeps on screaming and then singing, screaming and singing. And I know they're layered, but I can't wait to see they play the song live and see how they do that. Overall, I'd give that track 10 out of 10 for being awesome. In My Remains, and it's more electronic than the last song was, but you can still hear the guitars because they're back. And some fans might be really happy that the guitars are back, because you can barely hear the guitars in 1,000 Suns. You can hear them if you listen and look at things. It's not my favorite song on the album, but it's pretty good. The best part of that track is when Mike's going like an army falling one by one, and he just keeps on repeating that, or Chester singing. It's pretty great. I would give that track probably an 8 out of 10. Then comes Burn It Down, which everyone's probably heard by now, being their first single from this album. And that one has I don't really have to describe that one because everyone can just probably hear it. Everyone knows it already. And I can tell that song was probably made to be the first single. That's what it was made for, because it's too radio friendly to me, way too radio friendly. Then next song is one of my favorites. It was the second song to be released. Linkin, Mike Shinoda leaked it himself by giving it to a fan from the Linkin Park scavenger hunt. Live Street Misery. It has Mike rapping and then Chester singing in a kind of happy kind of way. But if you listen to the lyrics, it's kind of really angry. It's really happy. Like the music, and it's upbeat, and it's really happy. But listen to the lyrics, it's very angry. And then at the end it has Chester screaming, "You did it to yourself," over and over again. It's probably one of my favorite tracks. I would give it a 9.5 out of 10. Next is I'll Be Gone, which is kind of similar to In My Remains. This one is one of my favorite tracks off the album, because I really like how the chorus sounds, how everything sounds with it. It's perfect. And the second verse, you can start, if you listen close, you can start hearing the strings. The mixing's kind of bad because you can't really hear the strings that are supposed to be in it, because Owen Pallett from Arcade Fire was featuring that song, doing the strings for it, and you can't really hear it that much, so it's kind of a pointless feature. But if you listen, you can hear it. It's one of my favorite songs. I would give it a 9 out of 10. Next song is Linkin Park's best song they've ever made, hands down. It's not angry or anything. It's upbeat. It's a folk song, pretty much. It's called Castle of Glass. It has Mike singing the whole thing, and then but Chester harmonizes it in the background, starting from the second verse, I think. Great song, 10 out of 10, definitely. Best song on the album, and it's like nothing they've ever done before. You should love it. Then is their heaviest track on the album, Victimize, number 7. Victimize, it starts off like a kind of speech kind of thing. I can't really understand it. I hear the words Linkin Park in it, so I think it's probably like someone complaining about going back to their roots or something. That's what I think I hear, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. It has probably Chester screams a lot. And the only time you even hear Chester in that song is when he's screaming. Other times it's Mike. And Mike does like a really sick rap in the middle of it. It's a really short song, but it's short, sweet, it's to the point. It's one of my top songs. I'd give it a 9 out of 10. Next is Roads Untraveled, which starts with the chimes going. And it's one of the 2 ballads on the album. There's Roads Untraveled, and then there's Powerless. And with Roads Untraveled, it reminds me of Iridescent off 1,000 Suns. It just kind of has that similar vibe to it, but it's different. It's not, they didn't copy themselves or anything. It's similar to me. I like it though. It's I think Powerless is probably the better ballad, but Roads Untraveled is still pretty up there. Linkin Park does ballads pretty well, I've come to realize. I'll give Roads Untraveled a 8.5 out of 10. Then is Skin to Bone, which is kind of another folk kind of sounding. I think it's Ashes to Ashes, Dust to Dust. It's not one of my favorites on the album. I mean, it's okay. I don't really like it that much, to be honest. I'll give it. It's still a good song, don't get me wrong, it's just not my favorite. I would give it probably a 7.5, just barely beating Burn It Down. And then is Until It Breaks, which is very experimental. And I didn't like the song in the beginning when I first started listening to it, so it's so weird. It has a weird beat to it, and then Mike's rapping, and then Chester sings a little, and then Mike goes back to rapping, and then the surprise is Brad, the guitarist, he starts singing. He sings the last part, and it's really beautiful, and I really do like it now. It just took me like 2 or 3 listens to actually understand it, I guess. 8.5 out of 10. It's pretty good. I like it. Then it's Tinfoil, which goes in Powerless. I'm just gonna judge this as one song. I'm gonna already tell you, I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. It's a fantastic ending to the album. Shows everything that they can do in that song, being a ballad and all. That's pretty much all I can really say about it. You have to hear it. It's pretty good, awesome lyrics to it too. Overall, I would give this album 9 out of 10. It's a very good album. You should go pick it up as soon as it arrives in your stores, which arrives here tomorrow, but I got an early copy.